Well, hello everyone again, and welcome to another edition of the ETBU Men's Basketball Coaches Show with head coach Burt West here. We're going to talk a little Tiger basketball here as we get ready to host a couple of big ASC East games this weekend, starting Thursday night with University of the Ozarks coach. Your team's in a pretty good place right now, just in terms of the standings and overall win-loss. You've kind of surged to the top of the pack here in the ASC East, and this is a big week for you guys with a couple of big home games. First of all, let's review a little bit of last week. Just a couple of really tough road games since we talked last. Went over to UT Tyler on Thursday and surged out a win over there, and then followed that up with another tough road game at LaTourneau on Saturday. Just kind of recap us a little bit on how your team played in those two games.
Well, you know, I've said from day one, I really like this team, and they were tired. And of course, a lot of them are young too, and they've not had this sort of workload put on them. And Tyler, as you've pointed out, has been difficult for us over there. That's a difficult place for us to win. When they started their program, we lost the first two times we went over there. So I guess since then we've done a little better, maybe 500 or close to it. But it's a difficult place, and Coach Bizot does a great job with them. They play so hard and good defensively, good rebounding teams, and so it was a real battle, and we answered the call, and the kids just really scrapped and played an excellent second half, and it was sort of interesting to watch our kids. You know, they've become relentless, and that is so much fun to watch and so exciting. They're just a relentless bunch. They have fun playing together, and they like each other. And they're just sort of in pursuit all the time. And so then that was a very hard game, and they played a great second half and managed to pull that one out. And then we go to LaTourneau, and now that's our fourth game in 7 days, seventh in 17 days, and we really didn't have any legs. And but they played well enough and fought hard enough to get the win, and it really just came down to gutting it out. How bad do you want it? Because everybody is trying to make a move, and we've got some pretty good teams now over in the East Division that don't have a very good record, but they're good teams now. And so you've always got that. Well, you guys have beat them because, and what we've got is we're having to gut it out and just fight our hearts out, you know, for every victory. And the kids, again, they were so relentless, you know, against LaTourneau. They just wouldn't give. And if we'd have showed one little crack in our armor, LaTourneau would have taken us out.
Well, that kind of, as you say, relentless attitude, I guess, is going to come in handy here as we get even closer toward, I guess you could say, crunch time in the year. And again, people on the outside can look at the schedule and can see exactly what's waiting here on Saturday. UT Dallas is coming in right now, just a game ahead of y'all in the standings. But again, in the East, again, you can't overlook anybody, and it would be a really scary trap game here tomorrow night against a very dangerous Ozarks team coming in here on Thursday night.
That brings to the point I just made. Ozarks have got a good team. They can score. They're athletic. They're big, and the very kind of teams that we have trouble with. And they're a good team with a poor record. And you know, when we lost at Centenary, people, I was surprised. I can't believe I lost at Centenary. You know, we were not surprised. We were prepared. And if you know, it's one thing we don't want to get slipped up on. And we were prepared. And Centenary just played well enough and shot well enough to take us out. And the same thing can happen any game. And we can't let a loss destroy us. You know, they've come too far, but. We do not take Ozark lightly. We do not think it's going to be easy. We know it's going to be a battle, and we've got them at home, which makes it, you know, it makes it the game of the year. Basically, we're playing for the East Division Championship every time we play.
I know you don't want to think too far ahead, but just for purposes of our little talk here,
you say that every time.
I do say that every time, and it gets you to talking, doesn't it? But that's not too difficult. But just, I mean, it was pretty much a similar situation last year, if we can remember, when UTD were going head to head, and you had a couple of weeks here back to back where you played each other, and you mentioned that over the past few shows, you mentioned that every game in the East has become a rivalry in its own little slot. Just kind of expound a little bit on what you mean by that, particularly, I guess, when you talk about a rivalry with Ozarks and how it affects us, and then a rivalry such as Saturday against a very good team, obviously, in UTD.
Well, let's go with just sitting there and get them out of the way, because they're going to be out of the way, but we're still going to get to play them at least once a year. The location, the similar affiliations, automatic rivalry. All we have to do is show up, and it can get hot in a hurry. Tyler, Laterno, proximity, and in the same event, every game's so important anyway. Just instant rivalry. UT Dallas and us have tried to. We both, worked our way up from the middle of the pack to battle each other at the top. There was a time when we won every time in our gym, and they won every time but once in their gym. It was that sort of, and now I don't even know. It seems like I'm not beating them in forever. It seems like they've beaten me 5 times in a row, and it may be that many. It may be more. I'm ready to put that behind me. I'm tired of UT Dallas beating us, and they've been very good. They've been a little bit better maybe, but we've had some chances. We've had them 2 or 3 times, and they've gotten off the hook. So the rival's big, and then you throw in the mix how important the game is for division championship, and so it's just, everything's critical. But we've taken the attitude. We've played ever since East Division play. Each game we've put the utmost importance on it and said this game is for the East Division championship, because I know a loss to the bottom team in the division is just as damaging as a loss to the top team in the division. It counts the same, and so we've got a stretch where we're in pretty good position, but that rivalry and that intensity comes in when we happen to be ahead of everyone right now, and so everyone's trying desperately to make up ground, and so it's a big game when people play the Tigers right now.
Well, it is, and another big game again takes place Thursday night right here in Ornelas Gym. Starting off around 7:30 against University of the Ozarks, and then again, just to remind everyone, the game on Saturday against UT Dallas will begin at 3 o'clock. Hope to see everyone out, Coach, and let's have a good week, and we'll talk again next week.
Well, we can't guarantee a win, but we can guarantee the Tigers will be ready. Thanks, David.